All right, everybody. So we have a light call tonight, but we're going to still share the information because I know a lot of people are watching on video. So a handful of us on this little monitor right here, including the two lovebirds there. Well, one of the two lovebirds there. We went to that one, yeah. We went to, well, I went to the six-figure summit 2 days before the recruiting mastery event. This is our 4th year. Angie couldn't make it because she's working on taking care of some stuff with her father right now, but I can honestly tell you, everybody, that you'll hear from some people here tonight, that it was probably, for me, it was the best one ever. I mean, how can you not be, a foot away from Tony Robbins? But and that kind of energy was insane, and just the speakers and the leadership. And I think we all came away with one thing, that if you're not going to able to make it to Summit, this is definitely the event to go to, because there's so much more. I mean, you're learning from. I mean, nobody speaks on stage unless they're a $1 million earner. So you're learning from $1 million earners, and for 4 solid days, starting at 9 o'clock in the morning and going until 10 o'clock at night. So you got a lot of learning about, like I said, at the beginning of the thing, your brain's going to be mush, and your brain is mush by the time you're done. But like everybody on here, I mean, I was doing Evernote, and I got notes after notes after notes after notes after notes, and I got, I think, 14 pages of notes in a little small font, that I took. And this, like I said, my 4th one. So, but this isn't about me. So I want to hear from all the people so got some great people on here that have great coaches that went there. And I want to, let everybody share their experience. I can offer my 2 cents worth too, but everybody took something away. Everybody learned something. And I think this would be a great, for everybody to hear what all these different coaches here that went and why you should go next year. I'll give you an example too. Eric sold, he had some 100-pack tickets for $30,000, and we had 4 Beachbody coaches purchase those. We have over 400 Beachbody coaches that'll be going there next year. I have a few tickets, probably about, I think we got about maybe 10 tickets left that we'll have, but we're going to have a pretty big showing there next year. So that was very powerful that he put that together. So people bought, the tickets are going to be, next year they're $500 right now for single tickets. I'll have ours, we're going to be $350 was what we paid. And like I said, you can have some people bought a 100-pack for, and they're both, 2 of them have already sold out. So anyway, with that, I'm going to turn it over. The first person is, and she's unmuted, and she's over here, Mrs. Smiley Face. She's been doing some Shakeology and focus. I think she did a little bit more than the little 1 scoop you get in the. She's got some energy tonight. So anyway, Carla, go ahead and take it away. Tell us what you learned and what was your takeaway from recruiting mastery there for 4 days.
Hey, I'm Carla, and I am full of energy right now because I've been doing calls every single day about what we've learned there at the GoPro Mastery event. It was incredible. First of all, one of the takeaways that hits me in the face every single day is who is out there that I could have helped that I didn't help if I quit. And I always think about that. I always think about the fact that there are tons of people out there that need help with their fitness, that need help with their finances, and holy cow, one of the things that they were telling us is that we are doing away with a lot of jobs. They're coming to the 30-hour work week. So why are they doing a 30-hour work week? Because they don't want to have to pay the benefits. I actually posted a calculator that my daughter looked up the other day that she found says you can plug in your job and you can see if your job is going to be automated in the next 20 years. And a lot of them are. So what we're finding now is a lot of people who are going into entrepreneurship or solopreneurs with Uber, with Airbnb, with Lyft, those kind of things. And actually, I'm texting one of the gentlemen who picked me up with Uber, and everybody I talked to on the way to the event in my Uber or Lyft knew who Robert Kiyosaki was, knew who Anthony Robbins was, read Think and Grow Rich. So, I mean, I have found a lot of networking that I can do just within my own needs. What is around me that, I mean, Airbnb, I always stay at Airbnb. So these people are solopreneurs. They're already looking there and they're saying, hey, what can I do that's actually mine? And the other thing that I really loved is that Eric broke it down to, you have coin-operated people and you have entrepreneurs. So a coin-operated person, you put a coin in and they perform for you. Put another coin in and they perform for you. But an entrepreneur is somebody who invests for a future return. That's the kind of people we're looking for. You can build entrepreneurs. You can teach people to become more entrepreneurial. You gotta find people who have that spark in the first place, though. So I've been looking in those areas and writing myself lists and finding people, trying to recruit up, trying to find those type of people. And with the team that I have right now, we've been doing a call every single day. And if you're wondering what this is, message me personally, because this call is about an hour long, to help people with tools to help them change their mind. I see you smiling there, right? Darren, Harry's like, I know what that is. And the tools that we've been trying to give people are things that we learned from Anthony Robbins. Quick tools to change your emotional state. And if you don't know what that means basically is, okay, there are days we get up and we're tired, or we're not feeling that great. We're tired. What is tired? I mean, can you think of a time when you were exhausted? It's say 10 o'clock at night. Me, I go to bed at 10, 11 o'clock at night. I go to bed early. And the doorbell rings or something happens that somebody calls you haven't heard from for a long time. You're suddenly, oh my gosh, I haven't seen you in so long. Oh my gosh. And you give them a big hug and you have all this energy until 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. Where'd that energy come from? It's all in here. It's a state of mind. So one of my biggest takeaways I drew a picture of. And can you see it? Your state affects your action, which affects your behavior, which affects your results. Can you see that? So what I took away were a bunch of tools to change your state immediately. And like I said, I've been doing calls all week long about this. It is an hour-long call, so you have to message me if you want you or your team on that call. Any questions? No?
That was like a little pitch for your future thing.
And if you too want to become a Beachbody Coach.
So as you can see, Carla came away with, she's got a new level of enthusiasm.
I was talking right over you. What'd you say?
I said, there's 3 things that I got away with: mindset, personal development, and of course what Anthony Robbins spoke about, which was basically upping your energy and stuff like that, which Carla has clearly done. So we all want some of that. But so now we're going to move on. So if you want, are you inviting people to a call, Carla?
Yeah, you can come on one of my calls at any time. Rehearsing it. We're actually presenting this at a school on Tuesday. So if you want to be one of our practice people, that would be a good thing. Because we're trying. What the school has asked us to do is talk about our business, and they're fitness people. They're learning personal training. So I feel like this will serve my community better and find those people who really connect with that. So we're starting with this information, giving people some tools to create a state of mind so that their outcome, their life changes. So yeah, in short,
okay, so
you're invited on the call.
She gave you a little lead in, and now what we'll do is we're going to pass this on to Mr. Ted before he drinks too much wine.
For you, Ted.
So Mr. Ted Duncan was there, and we actually had some VIP seats, and we passed them around to the group, so everybody got a chance to sit up in the front 7 rows, and Ted got to sit up there with myself while we watched. That's the closest I've ever been to Tony Robbins, and 7 foot of, or however tall that guy is, and raging energy off the charts, obviously. But that was a fun time. And so, Ted, what's your takeaway that you got from? I know you got some pretty cool things that you guys did that you took away and actually put into action right away too. That's pretty cool what you did with Uber drivers and Lyft and stuff like that you're going to do a little training on. But go ahead and take it away.
Cool. Well, first of all, Carla, could you just hold that picture up one more time?
This is for you and your girl, your woman.
You remember that? Perfect. That's perfect. So yeah, I mean, we did some really cool stuff. Me, Ryan, and Darren and Carl are going to do a training in a couple weeks on what we did in Vegas and beyond. But aside from that, I had 2 major takeaways. And the first one is personal development. You know, what are you doing with your time, right? And so, you know, what I heard was time management and personal development. And I haven't done enough personal development. I haven't kept up with reading 30 minutes a day. So I thought about this as I was going home, and I had brought 2 books with me. Now, when I went to Summit, I brought 2 books as well. They never left my backpack. All I did was play Angry Birds on the way out to Vegas. So on the way home, I turned off my Angry Birds, and I pulled out The 4-Year Career. And I read this whole book cover to cover during my plane flight. And then you know, I decided, geez, I read a whole book in 3.5 hours. What can I do next? Should I play Angry Birds now? I said, no, you know what? I'm going to start my next book, Beach Money, which, by the way, both of these people, interestingly enough, were speakers at the Eric Worre event. So it's kind of interesting to read their books after hearing them speak and kind of get to know their role a little bit. And I recommend both these books. They're quick reads. Look, they're not very thick, right? But a lot of great information, especially The 4-Year Career and the whole work, get paid. Work, shopping for the ladies. It made a lot of sense reading these books. So that's my first takeaway is, you know, think about what you're doing. Are you watching TV? Are you playing video games on your phone? Are you on Facebook an hour a day? Everybody has a time. We all have the same 24 hours a day. Figure out your time to do your personal development every day, no fail. So that's my number 1 takeaway, I would say. The next one is, you know, the $500 an hour mindset, which has eluded me until recently. When I heard it, I kind of got it, and I kind of related it to things in my life that have changed as I've changed my ideas, my own self-worth. What's your time worth? You need to feel and think and be that $500 an hour entrepreneur. So what are some of the things that you waste time on, or you spend time on, that you could better have somebody else do that task for you? So one of the things is, since this call started, I actually went to Whole Foods, went shopping, and came back and got my organic lemons. I got my short grain brown rice. In fact, I got $50 worth of stuff delivered in my recyclable bags for a $4 fee. So I went online, I made my order, they delivered it for $4 to my door, and I figured that saved me about an hour and a half of time going to the grocery store myself for $4. Now, 2 months ago, I didn't want to pay $4 to have somebody go shopping for me. But now that I think about it, in that hour and a half, I could do my personal development. I could, you know, read a book. I could be on this call, right? Makes sense. So that's my second takeaway. It's pretty cool. That's it for me.
Hey, wait.
Yeah.
Ted, the last half of that, work, get paid, work, get paid, work, get paid, get paid. That was my favorite part.
Actually, my favorite part was work, shopping for the ladies. Work, shopping, shopping.
And that was alluding to a network marketing that you put in a lot of work up front and then you get paid. Then you put in a little bit more work and you get paid, and eventually you just get paid if you build a big organization. And that's kind of what that was. And what Ted was talking about with the $500 an hour mindset was that Eric had calculated out that the average millionaire is worth about $500 an hour. And so if you want to build a $1 million per year business, that's $500 an hour. So what he was talking about was his time, if he has the millionaire mindset, is $500 an hour. So if he's going and spending his $500 that hour going shopping, then instead of spending $4 to have somebody do it for him, or like in our case, we have people that mow our lawn, people that clean our house. Should I spend, because we have a large house, should I spend an hour and a half, us cleaning our house, or should we pay somebody to do that for us, And so that was kind of the mindset that Ted was talking about. And we've done that. I learned that from Eric 4 years ago myself and started implementing that. So you guys can all do that on a, whatever scale you can. Like I said, Ted just found a way to get, 3 or 4 bags of groceries delivered to him. I think it was $100 worth of stuff, for $4. So what's your time worth where you could, like you said, that was the biggest takeaway I got too, was mindset and personal development. Everybody up there, like I said, to be on stage, you had to be $1 million earner. And it was beat into my head over and over and over again, is that personal development. It's all about your mindset, And so I'll shut up, and because we got a couple other speakers, but that was kind of, I wanted to kind of fine tune that, what Ted was talking about, and that was one of his takeaways, of which there was many. And he's going to be doing, they took away something and they put something in. He's going to be doing a training on it in 2 weeks, where they've kind of found a little system. They actually tested it with Mr. Ryan there, who apparently was sweating bullets and fearful, and got his first prospect while being forced to talk to an Uber driver or a Lyft driver. And so they've put this whole cool system together that they're going to be training on too next week, that they actually tested from what they took out of Vegas, which is pretty cool. So that's a little teaser for a couple weeks from now. But now I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Andy Johnson, if you want to say a few words. So here's an interesting story about this guy. I'm going to embarrass the crap out of you right now.
I don't get embarrassed. That's all right.
So Mr. Andy Johnson became a coach. He's a farmer from Colorado.
Mm-hmm.
Literally had never heard of network marketing until April. How old are you? 29?
31.
31.
Yeah.
And literally never heard of network marketing. He had heard of a company called Amway, didn't know it was one of these network marketing pyramid things. And so Andy's very unique in the sense that this is the best story ever. So I got to share it just because. So Andy's a real world farmer. He does his personal development on a tractor. And he does calls back with people while he's driving around his tractor that drives around in GPS.
Yep.
And he's learned how to turn a tractor into Drive Time University. As a farmer, he was also salsa and professional salsa ballroom dancer.
Yep.
And his father, now this guy, so here's farmer over here, and you cannot separate. You can't be any farther apart than a salsa ballroom dancer and a farmer. I don't think you can. And so Andy joins in April. He goes to Summit, what was that, 2 months later. He showed up in Vegas because I had a ticket that came available all of a sudden. I think, what were we at, 2 weeks?
Mm-hmm.
Before you just said, okay, I'm in. And 2 weeks, without 2 weeks notice, this guy hops in his limo and drives his stretch limo with his wife and 2 kids to Vegas, and shows up and staying with a friend or somebody in Vegas to attend GoPro Recruiting Mastery. Now that's the kind of dedication Andy's had, and he's I'm going to be doing a little interview with him because he's got a really great story. He's gone from $400 and something your first month to, I think you're month 6 now, he's at like at $1,400 a month. And so he's really exemplifies, taking this to the next level and everything. And so his limo story, part of the added the limo is, so his dad, while he was being a professional farmer dancer, his dad didn't want to pay for the plane tickets for 4 people to fly around the country. So his dad went out and bought a 2002 white stretch limo. And that's what they drove around the country in, while he was farming and dancing. And then I guess they've kept the limo. So he hopped in his limo, drove 12 hours to Vegas with his family, and showed up at GoPro Recruiting Mastery. And now that's somebody that's got some dedication, and he's a great guy. I got to hang out with him, got to meet him. And So I'm going to shut up and let you take away whatever you want to talk about there, Mr. Andy, is the newbie here in the group that's crushing it. So take it away.
Well, thank you so much for the invitation. That Eric Worre talks about literally his 3 keys to success. These are the 3 keys to his success. He boiled it down to 3 things, and that was number 1, say yes. Number 2, tell the world. And then number 3, make it happen, and I did that, taking a shot and making a big coach decision going to Summit when I was a really, really new coach. I found a way to say yes and make it happen. And because of that, my business has exploded. So I had that one, okay, when I have an opportunity, take it and watch it pay dividends. Maybe I didn't really have money to go to Summit, but I made it happen, and it paid for itself it paid for itself before I even went there. Because they have all those promotions like, hey, earn a celebrity picture with, and I was like, well, okay, I'll try to do that. So it's like, I'm going to Summit. If I never would have gone to Summit, I wouldn't, have any incentive to try to get a celebrity trainer photo, in my second month of a coach. But I made the decision to go to Summit, and something like that was there. So I was able to, as a new coach, 1 month in, my first full month, when the celebrity trainer photo finished top 600 in there, because I made the decision and I said yes. And the same thing with Blake reaching out, seeing potential in me, and giving me an opportunity. I was able to say yes and, make it happen. Luckily, I had a couple resources. I had a friend who lives down there. I was able to stay at their place, and so I wouldn't have to get my own hotel room, save some money that way. And I could drive, and my dad's my employer, so he's pretty good with my schedule if I needed to take time off. So I had a lot of breaks go my way, but I was able to say yes and then tell my team, tell the world, and then I made it happen. And the biggest takeaway I got out of it is that there's a lot of ways to show gratitude. Upwards and downwards with this network marketing. I've learned a lot, in 6 months, and there's people above you that can help you get to where you want to go. And then when you get to a place where you're higher up, you can look down and help people get to where they want to go. And there's when you go to an event like Network Marketing Pro, there's a lot of really big fish there. And I'm the, the head of my little team, and it's getting bigger all the time. But, there's 40 people in my downline. And they look at me like I'm this rock star, crazy big fish who's just killing it, and look up to me with respect and for help, and they just see like this big coach. And I'm only 6 months in; I'm 6 months ahead of them. But then I go and get to hang out with Blake and these $1 million earners, and you feel like a really small fish when you're up there, and you see people who really have done it, and even someone like Blake can look up to like Eric Worre and see that he's like this super big fish, and maybe Blake will feel like a small fish. And then even like someone like Eric Worre, who's just he's got it all mastered on all the network marketing. He looks up at someone like Tony Robbins, and maybe Tony Robbins is the biggest fish, right? So there's all these people above you and people below you. But I just saw that what Blake was able to do to me to give me a shot at that. How that's fired me up and my team, how my team has saw that, hey, if I work hard, that somebody above you will see you. When I first joined this team, I was thrown in the group because my coach added me. I didn't even know what this was, and I see all you guys on the top of the billboard or whatever. This is the advisory committee or whatever, and Blake's this head coach of 44,000 coaches or whatever it is now. And well, he will never know my name. I'm just a brand new coach. And, if you work hard and make a difference, somebody really high up will know your name, and Eric had a rising stars panel, right? So even someone like him, if you start to crush it, Eric Worre could know your name. He could ask you to speak. And there's power in gratitude up, like Blake, when you gave me the ticket, I can reward you with gratitude by saying yes, and then increasing my team's volume and blowing it up. So, my work will help you make money. I mean, I'm hoping to help you make all that money back that you invested in me. And then how powerful is that when you can take that, that thank you and like give gratitude down. So if you have a coach that's rising up, if you get really big, maybe, the size of Blake's organization, or even a couple hundred, if you see somebody like 5 or 6 levels down, that's just starting to crush it, the power that they don't even have to be your personally sponsored coach, right? But you can look down and say, wow, I see potential in you. Let me work with you. Let me give you some, some help and some recognition, and watch you crush it, So I just think the biggest takeaway that I had from the whole event was the opportunity to help people above you, and the opportunity to help people below you. And I'm just so grateful for the opportunity, just getting to sit next to Blake, it's kind of, something I didn't even think was possible a couple months ago. And, I have a big dream of being in the cast member. I was able to meet Jeremy Red and shake his hand, and he knows who my name is now, and had a crazy limo full of millionaires on the way back to the Mirage. That's a night I'll never forget. And all of this was like a dream come true and a super start for my business. So it's a testament to what you can do if you work hard and give that, I take that lesson of what I got and the blessings that I was able to get. And then I hope to pay that forward to my coaches. I hope to grow a big organization, and then just remember that somebody who needed a little bit of help to get a big step in, and I got that, and I can't wait to pay that forward and back. So thank you, Blake. Thank you, everybody who was there and gave me a shot. And I was glad I did say yes, and I told the world and made it happen. So.
Yeah, so I was glad to meet you, and we still, we've got a big team, but we still put our pants on one leg at a time, and
right.
We don't think anything of ourselves. And anybody can get here. We were all, started 8 years ago, and lost a job and about ready to lose a house and everything, and started under a stressful situation, and just worked hard like you and a lot of people are on this call have done, and turned it into a good business. And we're just getting started, so.
No, Blake, we're actually celebrating our 10th year, March of 2016.
Wow.
10 years.
Yeah. And we're, like Blake said, we're
well, next year, yeah.
Yeah, in 2016, we'll be celebrating our 10th year. So
wow.
That's kind of a big milestone.
At the end. And a lot of people are here, so. All right, so I think we got last one, unless we're going to, Mr. Ryan, Ted, you got something for Mr. Ryan, but I was going to have Mr. Darren Wall. You got something you want to share with some people?
Yeah, I got a few things. So this is my 3rd year going to this event, and I thought by far, I echo what Blake said, this was the best year out of the 3. The 2 prior years, there was a lot more focus on the 7 skills. That's from the GoPro book. But this year, I think that more on mindset. Now, that was the message I got over and over again. They kept saying success leaves clues, and the clues that they kept telling us was mindset. I mean, over and over again, they mentioned Think and Grow Rich, and other books that influenced their lives. And Eric, he talked about wanting to accomplish or discuss 3 areas during the training, and he talked about the inner game, which was the mindset, then the skills necessary to get to the $500 an hour mindset, or to make the $500 an hour, and then a strategy to put it all together. So I thought it was really, really good event. And some of the things that stood out for me, I like numbers. So one of the things that he talked about is there's 99 million people right now with some sort of network marketing company, and there's 7 billion people in the world. In North America, there are 19 million people affiliated with some network marketing company, and there's 530 million people in North America alone. So, you always hear people say, oh, I'm too late getting into this, and there's not enough people. Well, I mean, 19 million versus 530 million. I mean, it seems like you got a pretty good potential market out there. A couple of other things that I made a couple of notes of things that I thought, one of the speakers, it might have been Todd Falcone, he talked about plan it, do it, review it, make a better plan, and repeat, and just keep doing it over and over, keep trying new things, seeing what works, be constantly changing. A lot of people are afraid of rejection, and Eric Worre was talking about rejection and how rejection just means the person's not ready yet, that you're going to either win or you're going to learn. So you just keep doing it, you keep learning, and eventually you're going to win. So I thought it was an amazing event. And, Anthony Robbins, that guy was just off the hook. I mean, the energy, I saw him a long time ago in a big arena. But seeing him in like this little, it was a large ballroom, but in a ballroom, it was just amazing. And, next year, Richard Branson's coming. It's just going to be even, like Eric keeps saying, bigger and better. So I would highly recommend getting out there. Again, I agree with Blake completely. Summit's a lot of fun. You get to see your friends from Beachbody. They talk about some new products. But if you want, nuts and bolts and the skills that you need to succeed in network marketing, then this is the event to go to.
All right, I agree. Make it to both, but like I said, you're going to learn the most from. You're going to get, like I said, $1 million earner after $1 million earner telling you how they did it, and you can't put a price on that. And like Darren said, next year he's going to, I think what he's moving up is almost like he's following Beachbody's progression. He's going to go from 8,000 people this year to like 14,000 next year. Going to go to the next event. He's got Richard Branson, Richard Branson, and Tony Robbins next year. He's spending, get this, $800,000 to have those two guys, just to have those two guys speak. $800,000. That's what it's costing to have those two gentlemen show up and speak, and if you look at the value of that, Anthony Robbins, a cheap seat at one of his basic, if you go to a one-day event for Anthony Robbins, it's $500 to sit in the cheap seats for a one-day event, and if you want to go to his 4-day thing, the cheap seats are, I think, we saw the thing was at $1,200-$1,400 or something like that, but like I said, you got 4 full days. So I'm going to tell you guys, and I'll post it once we get our tickets and stuff, but like I said, we're going to have at least 400 Beachbody coaches there. It'll be like a mini summit. And so I'm going to pass one last person and then we'll let you guys go. But Mr. Ryan, do you want to say something to the group, or are you going to be fearful?
Sure, I suppose I can. Didn't know I was going to, but I can.
Talk a little bit,
Sure.
This is your first time at Recruiting Mastery. You maybe I'd love to hear your version, because Ted said that he had you sweating bullets and got you to actually kind of prospect a Lyft driver, right? With something that you guys that Ted and Carla are going to be teaching, Darren I think too, next week. But I'd love to hear that story and hear about your sweating bullets and nervousness, and cause that's what a lot of people are, man. They're scared and fearful, and let's hear what you did and how you overcame that. And I heard you got a prospect out of it.
Yeah, actually, we did it twice. So I actually got 2 out of it. And that's always been my biggest thing with my business going up and down is fear of rejection, fear of not knowing what to say, when to say it, pretty much fear of anything. So a lot of times I would just shut down and not do anything. So for me, the biggest thing I got out of this, and Marina Worre talked about it a little bit. And so she said pretty much fear, you can look at it 2 different ways. Forget everything and run, or face everything and rise. So I had a lot of opportunity at this event to face my fears. Some of it was with a little pushing, thanks to Ted Duncan, with the Lyft driver. So I'm sure we'll get into more of that with the training. But just even being in a room full of that many people, especially during the Tony Robbins event where we were all jumping up around, hugging people you don't know, that's definitely not my type of thing normally. So that took me way, way outside my comfort zone. So like I said, that was really the biggest thing that I took away of it, is I got to face a lot of my fears and just kind of proved myself, and it may have been on a small scale here and there, that I can do it. It just takes time and practice, and not worry about, screwing up. You learn from it and you go do it again.
Well, and you had a little success partner with Ted, I believe, because he kind of sounds like he kind of encouraged you to get out there and make those prospecting to the Lyft drivers, right? Whatever the 3 is at.
Yes.
So, Yeah, so you'll talk about it a little bit more in your training next week or 2 weeks from now, but we're going to have, not me, but Team for Evolution, it's going to be, I think, Ted, Darren, Carla, and you, Ryan, are going to talk about how they've got this whole strategy. Because one of the things that, and it was in my notes here, but one of the things that Eric was talking about is how, and I think I forgot who touched on it, might have been Carla, but how, the 30-hour work week, well, that was a reference to, that the government said, you will provide health care insurance to all your employees, and so that work 30 hours or 34 hours or more a week, and so all the employers went, good, we're going to make people work part-time then 30 hours a week so we don't have to pay them health care insurance. And so the typical JOB market's struggling and going away for a lot of people and turning into part-time stuff, and so that was more of they got in to take a look at Uber and Lyft and Amazon and eBay, and there's the solopreneur is starting to rise. He called it the rise of the solopreneur, and that's meaning that people are starting to recognize opportunity. They can actually work for themselves, but then he went through a whole scenario that, here again, you have to have been there to see it, and you can get his, you can go to Eric's site and get all those tapes for $297 or something like that, whenever it comes out here in 2 weeks, and you can watch these trainings, and there's some very powerful trainings in there. And how you can basically, the rise of this solopreneur is happening, and people are starting to wake up to the fact that, it's time to have my own business. But then, what's different about Uber and Lyft and Amazon and all that stuff is the fact that, network marketing, as he says, is we're not perfect, but we have a better way. And what that means is, we got the leverage where you can build a team of 44,000, 100,000 people, whatever it is, and leverage that. While everybody's just helping everybody and buying products, versus Uber, you're spending time driving people around, and you're limited to how much money you can make by how much you can drive. I got some static here, but anyway, so I don't want to take much of your time. I'm going to share you one thing that I thought was cool that Eric did, and he's done this before, and so you can I'll show it to you, but you can use this for yourself and write down on one half a piece of paper, and then I'll close this out. Write down all the things that are holding you back, your fear, your anger, and split the piece of paper right down the middle, and write down, money problems, weight issues, doubt, envy, hate, whatever it is that's bugging you in life. And then on the other side of the piece of paper, you write down a big bold letters, write down the word activity, and then I did something a little bit different that Eric did. Things like I wrote underneath activity, I wrote down freedom, happiness, weight loss, earn money, joy, and peace. And so this is what he did. It's kind of a cool thing. So you put all those negative things, whatever you want to put in your one half of a piece of paper. And he goes, if you want to get rid of all those things, there's one thing you need to do. And he goes, you slide this little piece of paper, and the more activity that you do, the more of those things disappear. And underneath that activity becomes all the things that you want to happen in your life. You start doing less activity, all those things you don't want to have happen are going to come back in or creep back in. And so as a little exercise for yourself, you can write down all the things that are holding you back, your fears, your doubts, rejection, fear of calling, fear of picking up the phone, and things like that. And the more you do the things under activity, which is picking up the phone and things like that, then more activity you do, then the more of those things are going to come into your life. So did that come across right? But anyway, so that was kind of what was one of my takeaways, and you can do that for yourself. It's a great exercise you can do for your team. He actually went through it, and he called things out in the audience. If you're doing a team call or something like that, you can say, okay, write out some fears you all have in your thing, and then write them all down on a piece of paper. I didn't want to spend the time doing that tonight because, we had all the other people were helping on the call. And have your people write down, all the fears they're feeling. So like it's going to be fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of talking to people, fear of success, whatever it is, and write all those things down on one piece side of the paper, and then play that thing for them or teach them how to do that. And here again, it makes complete sense, and it's so simple. The more you do activity of the things that you want, the things that are going to make you successful in life, then all those negative things are going to go away. So that's all I have. Does anybody else, by a show of hands, Carla?
I want to say something. Gang, you saw from the speakers who all was there at the event. I am positive that every single person that was at the event would share more information. We had pages and pages and pages of notes. So in a normal traditional business, maybe your boss won't share with you what made them successful. Maybe they don't want you to take their job. They don't want you to take their customers. In this business, we have great people. You have Blake, you have all these wonderful mentors that you can lean on and you can ask questions. When do you have $1 million earners at your disposal? Where? Right here. So you guys circle around, ask any of these people, brand new, seasoned, whatever, what they learned and what was their biggest takeaway and who they spoke with. Bob Proctor was there. Nobody talked about what he said. There was a lady there who had MS who was supposed to be in a wheelchair, and instead she ran 5 marathons and was in an Ironman. There's all kinds of information that you guys can glean from the people that were there. So please ask us, because you know what you do for us? You give us a gift. Every single time we have to teach you, it creates new neural pathways. It creates new grooves in our brains. It helps us learn. So that's what I wanted to say. Thank you.
Thanks. All right. Anybody else? Or we can close her out for the night. All right. Whoa.
Whoa. Go pro.
You don't know what that is, but okay. All right. So with that, everybody, we'll close it out for tonight. 2 weeks from now, we'll do another call. So you're going to be learning how to prospect and work with Uber and Lyft drivers. And maybe, what's that grocery thing you did? iCard or something like that, Ted? That iCard? I guess they do your shopping for you. So those are all another, solopreneurs that are out there that could probably find a better way of network marketing and more specifically your Beachbody business. So be looking out for that. I think that's going to be a cool training. So I actually frankly can't look forward. I'm looking forward to seeing that myself because that's going to be a cool one since that's a whole new. What did you have, Ted? You said there's 3,000 Uber, Lyft drivers just in your area alone.
Yeah, actually, just in Boston, there's over 3,000 Lyft and Uber drivers. And you think about it, they're all people that are working for themselves, so they're already in that mindset.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's going to be an absolutely powerful training, so make sure you're on that not next week, but 2 weeks from now. And with that, we'll close it out for tonight and say goodnight to everybody. Thanks for joining us, and I'll try and get this posted up tonight or tomorrow. All right? Good night.